Hello everyone. Today we'll be looking at fossil fuels. Now what I want you to do is to get a piece of paper, pen, ruler, and an eraser. You will write your date and title and underline. Let us begin. Firstly, we need to state examples of fossil fuels. These should be very easy for you. Coal, oil, and natural gas. You should be able to describe why they are called fossil fuels. Simply because they are formed from fossils that were formed millions of years ago. Explain what is meant by non-renewable energy and how it differs from renewable energy. We have looked at this numerous times, and non-renewable energy is the energy resources that will run out, or they will not be easy to be replaced in a short period of time. Whereas renewable energy are those that will not run out and can be used repeatedly. In order for us to do well, we need to state what the three main fossil fuels are and describe what happens when the fossil fuel burn. Now, of course, workers in the UK oil and gas industry enjoy some of the highest wages paid by the sector across the world. A typical North Sea worker earns an average of 540 quid a day, while someone at director level employed on a rig there can command around 900 quid a day. From our SMSC, it is an incredibly important link with social, moral, and cultural issues with this topic as we consider our energy use affects our earth. Now, from this start, what are fossil fuels? And you can have a go at doing this on your paper and then come back and check your answer. And it should read: there are three main types of fossil fuels: coal, oil, and natural gas. These are called fossil fuels as they are all made from fossils of dead plants and animals. They are also called finite resources as they will one day run out. Why fossil fuels will one day run out? That's a good question. You should do some research and come back to it. Now here, we have a simple task for you. You're going to be using information sheets to fill in the tables so that you can understand the three main fossil fuels more on the category formation, environmental impacts, advantages, disadvantages, and human use. We're going to go through them and you can come back and gather the information. It is wise that you draw your table beforehand and then you fill the information in. First, how is coal formed? Well, the sun gives energy to plants and the plants die and they get buried. Slowly, over millions of years, this turns into coal. The coal is then dug up and burned for energy. What are the environmental impacts of coal? Well, the burning of coal produces a lot of waste products such as metal, which is harmful for the environment. The burning of coal produces sulfur dioxide, which makes acid rain. Mining for coal uses a lot of water, which drains rivers. Coal, the bright and dark side. Coal can be found in many places. Coal is easy to transport and coal is relatively cheap energy source. The need to create mines which can be dangerous, and coal is a non-renewable and will run out in about 100 years. Coal miners can be made very ill, and of course burning coal produces polluting gases such as sulfur dioxide. How do we use coal? Coal is mainly used to produce electricity and heat. The coal usually burned in a furnace with a boiler. The coal heats the water to a boiling point when it gives off steam. The steam is then used to turn turbines which turn generators and create electricity. Natural gas. The sun gives energy to tiny plants floating in the oceans. The plants die and get buried. Slowly over millions of years they break down to form gas. We pipe the gas out and burn it for energy. The effects on the environment? Well, natural gas is described as the cleanest of the fossil fuels. However, it is still producing a lot of carbon dioxide when it burns, and carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas, which means it contributes to global warming. Natural gas can be transported easily through pipes. Natural gas can be found all over the world. However, natural gas is not renewable and will run out in about 32 years. Burning gas releases greenhouse gases into the environment, and the price of gas is always increasing because the supplies are running out. How do we use this natural gas? Natural gas, like coal, is a major source of electricity generation, the main source of energy in many people's homes. It heats, therefore, central heating. It's used to heat cooking stoves. It is used in many people's car as a fuel. It is also used to create fertilizers for farmers' crops. How is oil formed? The sun gives energy to tiny plants floating in the ocean. Sea creatures eat the tiny plants. The sea creatures die and get buried, and slowly over millions of years their soft parts turn to oil. We pump the oil out of the oceans and turn some into petrol. The effects on the environment. The extraction of oil has many impacts. It releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, which contributes towards global warming. Extracting oil often results in large oil spills which harm ocean wildlife. Oil like gas can be transported easily through pipes. Oil can be found all over the world. Oil is a non-renewable resource and will run out in about 2042. Burning oil releases greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, and the price of oil is always increasing because supplies are running out. How do we use oil? Oil has a variety of uses. In fact, the main one is to make petrol for fuel for cars. It is also used a lot in the variety of products that we use every day, such as clothes, makeup, perfume, and bubble gum. Here is a task that you will complete. You will say which fossil fuel is the most precious and why. You can use all information from your tables, and so you'll think about. Here are some sentences. We have some sentence starters here. I think that the most precious fossil fuel is, and I think this because. Good luck. There is a little manipulatory. What does finite mean? That means it will run out, right? And which is the main source of energy in people's home? It's electricity. Which of these fossil fuels is created by sea creatures? Oil. Which of these produces carbon dioxide when used? Oil. And now I have a master's question for you to do. Which one is most harmful to the environment and why? Once you've done your response, you need to then upload it to be checked. And of course, we're down to our final task: renewable and non-renewable energy, that is. Resources can be defined as any material or product that we find useful. And resources can be divided into two groups. Non-renewable are those which can only be used once and will eventually run out. For example, coal can only be burned once. Renewable resources can be used over and over again. For example, the sun will never run out. You will give yourself an opportunity to work through the task and then check your responses. Always upload to get feedback. Good luck.